Let's start to play.
Hey YouTube, so I'm here today with Mission Impossible. This game was kind of a disaster, so let's check it out. Recorded on a CRT, so it doesn't really completely accurately represent the graphics, but it's pretty darn close. Unfortunately, that was one of the issues with this game that I had, was just the quality of it. So my plan is to show you guys some levels that I like. We're going to do some of the easier ones and then a hard one.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps. International weapons dealer Basil Prokosch has set up operations at an abandoned World War II submarine base in Lundqvist. Our information shows he is planning to upset peace in the Gulf by selling 12 medium-range missiles to an enemy country. Your mission, Jim, should you decide to accept it, is to sabotage the submarine transporting the missiles. As always, should you or any of your IM force be caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, Jim.
So if you've been following along in all of my Nintendo 64 videos, I usually complain about the cutscenes, but this one I liked. My biggest issue with this is it didn't really follow the movie as much. So here, this is the first level, and it's just kind of showing you the logic of the game and just gets you used to some controls.
Roger.
I think my biggest problem with this game is the way you aim in it, and there I just demonstrated that it's just kind of willy-nilly. So unless you actually use that target icon, it's just kind of a gamble as to whether or not you actually shoot the person you're trying to shoot. And yeah, if you're getting attacked by a bunch of people, that doesn't make this game very easy. So here we have a little bit more of a big boy level. It's actually pretty fun and relatively easy. But yeah, if they had made the firing easier, and there are just some basic flaws to this game. I also wish that you could just pick a first-person perspective rather than making that only the aim sight. That was rather annoying too. So you can see here that I have invincibility on, and I'm just basically screwing around, beating all these guys up.
Way to go! Copy. Stay close.
I just triggered this because I thought it was funny, and as I think you guys can also see, I enjoy frolicking around. And here's the practical use of the R button.
That's it.
At first, I defended this game, but then I started basically studying it to play for you guys, and I realized why everybody says it's so cruddy, especially when you compare it to any of the 007 games, GoldenEye, or The World Is Not Enough, or as I call it, Twine! And yeah, there were other first-person shooters, Perfect Dark, that actually, you know, allowed you to have this particular perspective. I don't know, it sucks. The other games I just mentioned made good use of sub controls so you could access sub menus. This one, not so much. You have to hit down C and then you use the same thing you do to scroll through firearms. And yeah, it's particularly annoying. And you can't change in another menu, like in the start menu, which would happen in GoldenEye, for example. If you ever needed something and you didn't want to scroll through stuff while you're playing the game, you could pause it and access stuff there. I still enjoy this level to a degree because it's simple and the environment is cool, the idea is cool. Again, I don't think it follows the movie though. So this particular exit sequence, I think, really shows you the horrible dumpster fire of graphic art that is going on here. And yeah, just the overlays, the different fog levels, it's terrible. And this was 2 years after the console came out. So this level is by far one of my favorites. It's easy and it's fun too. And there's a glitch that happens here. It's really weird. I have a feeling it's just because I haven't cleaned this cartridge in a while. So basically you just have to go around and put in smoke things into each vent. And she's gonna give me a face maker, and there's somebody who's gonna try to kill me, and I have to kill them. And then I have to get the ambassador to go to a certain spot, namely the bathroom, so I can take his identity, and, well, you'll see. one of the frustrating parts about this. I can't run. I don't know why I can't run. And yeah, you can also see all these points on the radar. They're all places that I have to go, things I gotta see, chocolate to eat, and crack to smoke. As a middle schooler with all video games, I really enjoyed the environments because that was something completely new. The 3D everything idea of both PlayStation and Nintendo 64 were definitely wow factors. As a kid, and still to this day, I wasn't really that good at most video games, but they were a lot harder back then. I've been playing a lot of the newer Nintendo games, such as the new Super Mario Brothers. It's not Bros, it's Brothers, damn it. Ugh. I have students that say Super Mario Bros. Come on, brah. Forgot where I was going with this. Oh, right, so those games are a hell of a lot easier than the old ones. I 100% guarantee. Interaction and dialogue with other characters existed even in the text-only games, which I sometimes miss, honestly, when games came out for the first cell phones back in the day. Some of them were mostly text and less graphics, so it'd just be stills, you know? And you really had to use your imagination. But when we saw stuff like this for the first time, when characters actually spoke, and it wasn't just a still, there was actually motion to it, that was kind of a big deal.
Understood.
Okay, so we're coming upon the glitch, son. For those who weren't actually reading what was going on, there's an assassin who's going to try and kill me, and here I hoist her with her own petard about going into the bathroom. Here she comes. For those wondering, I wanted to see if the glitch would further impact play, but thankfully it didn't, so that's why I was kind of going back and forth. I'm thinking maybe they didn't have the ability to run here because if you did, it would create suspicion. I don't know. It's still a little stupid, or maybe because the Soviet guys could only walk for some programming reason. I don't know. It's just really annoying because it takes forever to get over there. And you can see that I got stuck on some mission objectives, so I was just checking that out. And now I go to get the face makers, son. This particular level is mostly a stealth mission, and I really enjoyed the stealth missions in this game. I didn't enjoy them in some other more popular games, like 007 The World Is Not Enough, or Twine! So, when Twine had some covert stuff, it was a little hard, And here they made the covert stuff a little bit easier. So I definitely put that on the pros of this game. I also enjoy this song. So here we have the tedious task of walking casually to this guy. If you don't do it fast enough, he actually gets better and comes back out and the mission fails. And also at this point, I don't know if I have the cheat codes on, I don't recall, but you run out of the blow thing, I don't know, the blowgun ammo. You run out of the blowgun ammo is what I'm trying to say, and you just have to punch this guy. And then you use the face maker on him, and you advance to the next level. In this level, you have to escort this lady Candace around. And aside from, I believe this being a very severe deviation from the film, aside from that, if you try to get this done in one single play, you're not going to, because you just have to know certain sequences. So it's very similar to playing the old Super Mario in that sense, where you just have to know, oh, this enemy pops down from here, and whatever. So it's definitely a level where you just have to experiment and you have to go thus far and just be prepared to die. As I was filming this, I realized that the jumping kind of sucks. It's not that exact. Granted, this is probably the first time in many years I've played this game. I spent way too much time trying to get those other guys instead of freeing her. And the mission was not accomplished, son. This level at least follows a part of the movie. It doesn't happen at an embassy, but it's loosely based on the movie. And I just wish they did more of that in this game. That's one of my other big complaints. I guess I have many, huh? And yeah, they could have made this level a little bit easier. The fire extinguisher as a weapon is just the stupidest thing. Like, what, did they get this idea from Hunter Thompson or something? So I have to continue protecting her, and I cleared out all those guards, and now I just have to get disguises. And it isn't really the easiest thing, because if you go to a certain spot in the map, you wind up getting arrested, and you have to do it all over again.
Way to go!
Okay, so you're about to see Case in Point.
Gosh.
Personally, I think instead of spraying someone with an extinguisher, I would hit them over the head with it, or try to whack them in the arm, or yeah, I think that would be a lot more effective.
Yeah, way to go!
Since I learned what not to do from my previous play, what I did was I took a more proactive role in getting these guys, and I also killed them far away from me, so there was no chance of them arresting me. Aside from those little hurdles, I can't really complain about this level, and it just feels like a little bonus level because it's simple and it has that little theme of the movie in it. Granted, it's not in the right place. Don't know why I haven't been talking about this more, but those transition graphics are terrible. The graphics are horrible on this. There were games for the same console released the same year that were better. And finally I could run. It was a Festivus miracle. This level is cool and the idea of it is cool, but you have to go around getting keys and it just gets frustrating after a while. I didn't go into the terminal room, mostly because it's incredibly predictable and incredibly hard. Predictable in terms of the layout and such, and yeah, all I did was travel around that building a couple times and got arrested. About these particular levels is obviously you can't kill the guards, but you can knock them out, but then they just get right back up again. It's like they're on cocaine or something. I guess I just hit the right sprite there, but it shouldn't have gone off. I don't know why the alarm went off. And that's part of the fun of this level, kids. Yeah. Hitting A doesn't only open doors, it also makes you jump, and it depends on where you're standing at the moment. So that's what that was all about. I'm kind of wandering aimlessly.
Way to go!
Mostly, I think I just wanted to see what that thing would do to him, and apparently it just knocks him out, and he's probably just going to get back up again. Jumping, always fun. Thankfully, not a recurring theme, but just recurring enough to make it annoying. And basically this level, you know, you're just going from one level to another, And here I just got a knapsack thing. You see me having trouble with that sub menu. And in said knapsack thing is a new uniform. And they just used the face maker animation for it, which is extra stupid. Yeah. Whatevs. Alright, so here I was like, you know what, I'm gonna first person this. And that's what I did. At least I can run now. A little better than the embassy there. Go. So now I go upstairs, and I thought everything would be hunky-dory, but I was wrong, son. At this point, I was pretty screwed because I knew I needed a key. I just didn't know where to find it, so I assumed it would be this security guard. I did have invincibility on, but it doesn't really matter because you still get arrested, you know? So you basically can't let these guys catch up to you, and they're on crack, which means that when you use your trank, it doesn't really do the job very well. So yeah, basically, at this point, I'm just condemned. This is over. So I thought, well, maybe I could get over here, maybe? Then encountered the sub menu and was like, yeah, screw this. This was one of my favorite levels when I was a kid, but when I went back to play it as an adult, I had some trouble. Basically, you have to just cover Ethan as he goes around the train station, and various people will come out and point guns at him or just flat out shoot him, which is what's happening here, and you have to take them out. Sometimes, unfortunately, they will wind up behind objects when they take out their firearm, so it doesn't really work so well in reality sometimes, but the idea of this level is cool. So I initially went into this menu because I wanted to check out the controller and change the aiming mode. That's something that I like to do with every game I play. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have this in 16:9. What happens if I put it in 4:3? And I don't know, I don't really see that much of a difference because we're looking at a 4:3 screen anyway. So yeah, whatevs. Typically, the people who are running towards you are the ones that you're going to have to shoot, and thankfully they give you a second angle here, but it's only for a certain amount of the station, whereas the rest is for the whole amount of the station. There, case in point, I got this guy behind a pole thingy, or whatever it is. I guess it's a support. But yeah, and then Ethan runs away like a little pussy. And second verse, same as the first, folks. Sometimes, though, they'll trip you up, and they'll have an innocent person look like they're about to pull out a firearm, but it's really a cell phone or a cup of coffee or something. This was still one of my favorite levels, though, because I always enjoy sniping in games like this. There you can see this guy pulled out like a coffee or something from under his jacket. I don't know where the designers who did this game live. I don't know, maybe they were just promoting instant coffee or something. So this is one of the levels that's a little bit more truer to the film. They did add in a little bit of their own subplot lines, which is totally fine. I would have preferred it if the majority of this game was based on the film. There is a level that I'm not showing you, which is that control room level, but I thought that was pretty stereotypical, so yeah, I tried to just pick different ones that you may not have seen. So this is the ending train scene, and of course we have to get Jim so he doesn't escape. That's the main goal here. So this particular sequence in this particular level really demonstrates the issues of modality when it comes to aiming in this game. There is no auto aim, so if you don't have R held down to get your target and, you know, control it that way, then basically you only shoot in the direction that he's walking. And that becomes very inaccurate. To me, it feels like the difference between a musket and a Mossberg 22 Blinkster. So eventually you get on the train top, which is really cool, and I had a little bit of trouble with it the first time. I think I got there too late, because you're always timed with everything in this game. If you don't get to the end and knock out that helicopter soon enough, you fail. In addition to having to take down the final helicopter, you have helicopters and cars that shoot at you while you're up here. So it's not just these enemies. And that really made this a lot more fun. I do enjoy this level to a degree, just not so much the whole constant being timed part. Similar attack patterns over and over, which can be boring, but it can also be helpful, especially in this case. So here, I try to get him. So yes, not quite the ending we all know and love, but it works. And here we are, I suppose, at a debriefing, or this is like our debriefing and then final mission. I don't know. Let's watch. We're going to go to the very last mission, which is the most fun. And I referenced it when I did my review of Armorines, because the beginning of Armorines has something similar to this, where you're in this kind of gun turret-y thing. But obviously Mission Impossible did everything better than Armorines ever did. Hopefully that goes without saying. So here basically you just go around shooting at shit. I have invincibility on, so nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. It's me. As cool as this level is, I feel there was a little bit of a trigger pull fail here. The semi-automatic on the Z, meaning the guns will fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, works faster than the automatic when you just hold the Z trigger down, which is the exact opposite of how that works in real life. So later on you go to take down these towers, and I think in the impossible option, meaning the harder option of gameplay, also includes having to destroy some oil things, which I think is what I'm destroying here. I assume those are supposed to... Yeah, oh, gas factory. There you go. Thank you, Mission Impossible. And you get to sit through this too, because we couldn't just go to the cutscene. So even though we've won the game, there's one last thing that I wanted to show you guys, and it's kind of this end of the game celebration thing. It seems more for the developers and the creators than anybody else, but it's a fun little thing to do. Oh, how cute. So here we go. Granted, it sucks that you have to sit through the credits, but it's worth it and it's fun, even if you don't get the inside jokes, which I'm pretty sure a lot of them are. And being a production guy, a guy who does a lot of media production, I totally appreciate that, but these are mostly inside jokes. It was an inside job, son. And yeah, I forgot that when you get into the reception area, it basically just shuts all this down. So anyway, I had some fun with it. So believe it or not, prior to playing this game for you guys, I would have said this game was like a 9 or an 8 out of 10. For me, it's more like a 6.5 or a 7 now. I didn't realize how clunky the controls are, how bad the graphics are, even compared to games of the same time on the same console. But it was fun to play. Thanks for stopping by.